What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome newcomers if you are newcomers to the channel. So today we're just gonna have a little talk, nothing too crazy. Of course, it's going to be about Shadowverse Evolve. Don't get me wrong, but I want to go ahead and start off by saying Happy New Year's. We are 7 days into the new year, and it has been a minute since I made a video, but I wanted to just sit here and talk with you all about what's going on inside of my mind, what's going on in the community, and things like that. But I do have a gift from all of you for the holidays that I forgot to give you, and it is this. I have a webcam, and I finally have a face that you all can look at. So, hello, I'm Sparta. It is a pleasure to meet you all. I've been doing Shadowverse Evolve content for 3 years. 3 years now? Like, goodness. Looking back, it's just like, yo, I remember when I was making these PowerPoints for the videos, like when I first started, and it's just like, yo, look at all the people I've seen leave, look at all the people I've seen come into the game. Like, I've just seen many different faces, and these regionals that are actually coming around more onto my side of the states. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video and talk about what's going on inside my head. All right, so I want to go ahead and tell everyone I'm scared. I'm scared of where the game's going to go, and I'm scared of what's going to happen, because as of right now, I feel like it's just madness. It's just madness everywhere. There's a monthly subscription that we all currently are dealing with right now. I don't mind paying it, but you know, if the game is to end up like any other TCGs that haven't really done well, then we're gonna be in a bit of a situation. So I don't mind paying X amount of money for the subscription and, you know, playing the game with you all, but you know, I'm not playing for what I'm paying for these cards, you know, on release, or you know, to make sure I get my stuff. It just doesn't feel very justifiable, especially if I'm not playing a topping deck, or I'm not really participating in my LGS, and not many people have LGSs. That's why I personally made it myself to have a Sunday webcam locals, so a whole bunch of people can get together and play together, so we can use our cards at least every week, if not, you know, every other week, whenever you're able to make the webcam locals. So there is a link down in the description below to check out for our webcam locals, and if you have any questions, I'm trying to curate for 2026. I'm going to try and curate to where everybody can sign into Discord and know where we play these webcam locals, so we can all play together. That is my biggest thing that I want everybody to do, because some people don't have LGSs like myself. So that's what I do. Now, the reason why I'm scared is that there are a lot of walls in this game. So the number one question I always get as someone who does introductory content, of course, you know, like how these decks work and stuff like that, is what is Shadowverse Evolve? And I proceed to hear that, and I'm just like, that's a big question. I would need at least 10 minutes or 20 minutes of your time to really explain it, or even 30 minutes. Speaking of the 30 minutes of time, I do highly suggest you check out Donut223's channel. That is a wonderful person that I've interacted with. You've probably seen him on the channel a couple times on the podcast videos, and he made a wonderful how to play Shadowverse video. So I highly do suggest you check out his channel and check out that video and make sure that it's widespread, so we can all know how to play Shadowverse Evolve, so we can figure out how to play Shadowverse Evolve together. Because everybody, I don't want to say everybody plays the game the same or differently. It's just like, we're not all on the same page, and that's okay, because, you know, brains are built differently. We all think differently. That's fine. But it's just like, there's with the walls and things like that, like the how to play video outside of the Donut223 video that came up not too long ago. You know, the video, the how to play Shadowverse Evolve, came out 2-3 years ago, and the information isn't too relevant now just because we are so many sets past that. But you can get a good basis of how to play the game. It's just, you know, you are confused if you haven't heard of the game that came from Steam, or, you know, the game at all, because you didn't play online. So now you're just figuring out what Shadowverse Evolve is, and it's just like, oh, so this has a paperback. And digital game will always have success. It will always have success, unlike the physical version. So the physical version, I don't want to say isn't successful, but it's an uphill battle. I will say it's an uphill battle, and We really like, it's not a known IP like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or MTG. Those are the granddaddies, of course. We know those are going to be here even after I pass away, you feel me? So like, those things are sticking around. And I haven't really played those games, but of course I know of them. But have been putting my time into Dragon Ball Super, and I'm even surprised Dragon Ball Super is still going on, because around this time, like, we should be digging in the grave. But I feel like there's a bit of a resurrection as of the last finals that we have. There's a lot of people there. Of course, there could have been more. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, we're not dead yet. And that's how I feel about Shadowverse Evolve. Like, we're not dead yet. We're just in a really weird period, but we're almost at the end of a really weird period. And when we get back to how we were before, I just really want to all be on the same page of like how we want this game to be run. So getting back to the question of how to play Shadowverse Evolve. So like I said, you would need 20-30 minutes of somebody's time to really explain what Shadowverse Evolve is. And then even after that potential paraphrase, of course, especially if you're like sitting down playing a game of Shadowverse Evolve with somebody else, and then somebody comes and plays with you, like, you know, someone walks by and say, hey, what are y'all playing? You know, Shadowverse Evolve, X, Y, and Z. And you give them even a more paraphrased version of the 30-minute version that you need to really explain the game. And then it's really up to them to decide to, you know, break into if they want to dabble into Shadowverse Evolve. So there are two things that are going to happen at that point. That person's either going to get on TCG Player and start looking at card prices and seeing, oh, okay, well, these cards aren't super expensive. Then, you know, let me get myself a deck. And then they would need to then go on the website. And that brings us to the other option. You know, instead of getting on TCG Player, you go straight to the website. So, you know, mind me, you know, pretend I'm getting on the web search engine on whatever you use. I use Google, for in fact. So I'm going to type in Shadowverse Evolve, and I'm going to get on this website. So anyone who knows me knows I have a personal gripe with this website, just because it just never works. It never works. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, I get on this website, and let's say day zero of them posting something. They post something on Facebook. They're like, hey, check out the website for more details. We get on the website, and sometimes things are just on different levels here. So they're making posts on Facebook, right? And I click on the link on Facebook. We're on the website, and the website's down here. And it's just like, okay, well, you know, you're saying you're advertising this stuff on Facebook here, and you want more information, go on the website, and the website's down there. You know, it's just a mixed match of stuff. So that creates confusion. And I would not blame anybody if that alone turns them away from this game. So another thing outside of the fact that I'm scared, I just want us to do better. Us as players, me, myself as a content creator, me, myself as a person, and then the company that really like promotes everything for Shadowverse Evolve. Like, we can do better, because if you do better, money will come in. I promise you. Like, I know I don't want to say money is a problem, because I don't even know what the problem is to begin with, outside of, you know, getting good player base, a loyal player base, and, you know, players that will continuously play the game and enjoy it. Because I enjoy the game, I enjoy playing it, I enjoy the interactions I have playing with people. So, like, you know, what really is the problem outside of the fact that this game isn't being pushed enough, or, you know, like, there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So there's just my disconnect there, y'all. There's just my disconnect there. So, like, the website is funky, and it's just like, they don't care. They don't care. And I can't force them to care, because that's just where they're at. Who, you know, I'm a nobody. Like, I'm a consumer like you all. So my questions are probably the same as your questions. Like, why isn't this working? So whenever there was that huge big problem that we did have with the ratios back in set 7, 8, can't even remember the number, but, you know, there was that big problem with the ratios, and those cards we did need for those decks. We need them, and they were pretty expensive just to pick up one. So that's just always, that's just, I don't even want to say always, I mean, that's just an issue. And I'm glad, you know, it became such a wide problem. We came together as a community, everybody chipped in for that Google form, and we were able to fix that problem. You know, they said they were going to fix the ratios, and it seems like they fixed the ratios because, you know, everybody seems to be getting the cards as of the latest sets. Haven't heard any problems about that because I try my best to check every now and then. As of late, I've just been disconnected. I've just disconnected for Shadowverse Evolve. Trying to get back in there because I want to be honest. I skipped Uma. Even though Uma is like my favorite craft. I will say Uma is my favorite craft, and I skipped out on Uma, so that really does say a lot for what's been going on. But at the same time, I did get sick, and the holidays did come around, so it was just like, you know, I can't really buy cards right now. So there's that too. All right, but yeah, there's these walls. So the walls, I mean, is just like we have the wall where there's the website and there's the disconnect. There are hyperlinks that just don't work. And it's just like, hey, if you want to know more information, you know, I'm not really getting the information from these sources. So like, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else. And then I'm really gonna have to get the information from some other person. It's just confusion. It's straight confusion. So I can understand why people like don't want to play from that aspect. Now, as a content creator, I want you to know, soldiers, that my first 2 years, or I guess I would say my first year and a half of doing this, I really tried to push in the Discord. And of course, you know, they have the self-promotion channels and stuff like that where you can promote your channels. And I really wanted to promote the Shadowverse Soldiers thing where, you know, everyone who is a Shadowverse soldier, and for anyone who doesn't know what a Shadowverse soldier is, it just means you play Shadowverse. Like you just play Shadowverse. Everyone's just a Shadowverse soldier if you're playing Shadowverse. So I want to go ahead and clear up that discrepancy if you don't already know what that is. And I wanted to have a nice little thing that I created personally that on the Patreon that I did have in case anyone wanted to subscribe to the Patreon when I wanted to do content that way. So I reached out to a mod and there was that wall there. I wanted to promote the Shadowverse Soldiers thing, you know, wanted to create a role and everything, and they straight up said no. And I was just, I didn't even challenge it. I was just like, why? Like, you know, like why? Like it's not that big of a deal. It's not like I'm giving them powers. I didn't even want to be a mod. I just wanted the role just to give to other people. That's really what it was, just a little flair in the Discord. And I know there's like interactions in the Discord and stuff like that. And I like seeing the interactions because I personally am not super active in the Discord because I can keep up with all that information. Or even when there is no information being like thrown out there, I wouldn't even know how to start a conversation. So I'm not even super big into that. So I went ahead and created my own thing on Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join that. It would be a pleasure to have you because it is dead. It is dead in there. So I do want people talking in there. Anyone who does say anything, I do try my best to respond, but just having the revenue of conversation, you know, it is what it is, you know, when it comes to online stuff. So, you know, I tried when it came to the bigger Discord where everybody is in it. And then, you know, when it came to Facebook, like there was that some of the mods that are in the Facebook page, which I personally think Facebook is one of the places where if you're super into TCGs, you definitely go to the Facebook page. Some of the mods like don't even play Shadowverse Evolve anymore. So it just feels like there needs to be a reevaluation of the Facebook page because when Uma came out, our banner for Shadowverse Evolve was just like broken, and it was broken for like a week. And Red Zone Rogue had to say in the chat, hey, can somebody fix this? And Red Zone Rogue isn't even a mod, and they are ambassadors, and they're not even a mod for the Facebook page. So like, you know, no one's really on top of it when it comes to these things. And I get it. Everybody has a life. People move on, stuff like that. But like, these are commitments we have to make if you really want the game to go somewhere. So people really have to push these things so people can know about it. And if people don't know about it, then we're not going to get any more players. And if we don't get any more players, we're not going to get any more money. And then we're going to end up like those other dead TCGs. And I really don't want that to happen for this game. So I think those were like the two biggest things that I really wanted to talk about. Like, you know, I've tried, and I really had to sit down and hit the thinker pose and be like, yo, is this worth to do? Because it just feels like there's like cornerstones in every place that I go. Watched Dean's video when he talked about that he quit, and I understood every point in fact. Like, turning away players when you really want the game to grow is absolutely insane. And I can understand from a shop standpoint, like, you know, we don't have enough prizing to give out to people. Like, you know, this is all that they gave us. I can understand that point, but like, you know, turning away players that want to play the game is like absolutely insane. And having a cap, of course, means, you know, that's how many players can play. But I mean, like, you need to have enough for everybody. You need to have enough for everybody, because even though you have a set goal, you need to have like a little extra more just in case you hit more than that. Not just, oh yeah, we only have enough for this and this is where we're at. And I could get that, you know, it's just kind of like old product in a sense. You know, you're not going to keep reprinting cards from set one, but at the same time, set one has those good cards like Bellringer that's probably going to, probably by set 17, 18, still going to be like a good, decent card. So, you know, you kind of hit that weird area, you feel me? So that's where Glory Finder comes in the fact that you can reprint these cards and it's okay to have these cards, you know, back and shift into the meta and stuff like that. You know, I'm just rambling, but you know, it's just crazy. It's just crazy what kind of like state we're in for Shadowverse Evolve. And I know I might be talking all over the place with this video and the fact of this video right now, but I just want everybody to know that I'm still here. I'm going to give it this year. I'm going to give you all my best self. I've upgraded my equipment here SPC wise, so you know there won't be any lags in terms of like video content and video quality. Hopefully we can get a new mic here so things are a little bit crisper and audio interface, so it doesn't sound as choppy, because I have a bit of a condenser mic. But that's not what I'm really like worried about too much. I'm just really worried about where this game is going to go, because I feel like we're on a downhill in, I don't want to say the trash, but like I don't want this game to stop. But just how it's going, people are jumping ship. It's like insane. There are periods where like I've just been like, oh yeah, it's hectic, but I was sitting in the fire and I've been the dog where it's just been like, hey, you know, this is fine. Like I've survived toxic metas before, so like things happen, but I've never had to experience the accelerated schedule, and now people are having to drop a monthly subscription just to make sure they can stay up on top of things. And then it's just like, hey, you know, what's the point of playing in this competitive event if the next time I play this competitive event I can't even play the same deck? I'm gonna have to learn, you know, everything a lot quicker. So we're kind of in that area right now where I think we're on the last combined set. I might be wrong, but I think we're on the last combined set as of 14 and 15, because once we hit 16, it'll be only a single set and it won't be as much, so it'll be a little bit better. So hopefully we'll be caught up nicely and things will go a little bit better. So here's to 2026 and doing a whole lot better for 2026. All right, so for the whole point, I didn't want this video to be something that was like really sad or like down. I just wanted to like sit down and talk with you all. I know I might have been rambling, and some of the crap that has just been coming out of my mouth hasn't been making too much sense, but you know, they are just these problems that we have in the community and on Shadowverse Evolve that just really need fixing. And I do believe that we can do better. I can do better, so I'm gonna try my best this year. And I do want to announce that this probably might be my last year if things don't get better by the end of 2026. Now, 2025, a lot of people are saying, you know, 2025 is going to be my year. Well, I'm going to say 2026 is definitely going to be my year for Shadowverse Evolve. I'm going to try and get these game shows out, because anyone who has interacted with me in these, I've tried making these games, but like, it's just like there's some outer force out there that is stopping me from doing fun for this game. I've had a couple of videos where they were just like fun videos that are just extra. I've been trying. You can ask anyone, any content creator that has tried doing what's it, Jeopardy. I've tried doing Shadowverse Evolve Jeopardy so many times, but it's just like something happens. Either a file's corrupted, the video stopped recording, and we're just sitting there playing the games to ourselves. It was fun. It just never works out. It's just like an outer source is just working against me. So this is going to be the year that I'm going to try. This is the year that we're going to hit the grind. I know I'm saying this as of January, but you know, I've been putting in the work in myself personally to like cut some weight and being able to, you know, push past my small insecurity on the fact that I don't like showing my face. So you know, I'm already pushing past that myself by showing you guys what I look like, and hopefully I'll have more videos where I'm kind of showing myself. I might start doing them in the reveals or even in the breakdowns, stuff like that, so you can see the, you know, way that I'm waving my hands or stuff like that. So I really don't know what else to talk about in this video. I just wanted to update you all on what's been going on, how I've been feeling, all the frustrations, the blood, sweat, and tears that I do and put into the content. You know, I actually appreciate everybody who has been loving the game and been keeping it alive, even though you've definitely have to drop a monthly subscription. That is definitely what I've been calling this accelerated schedule. They literally said, hey, drop your monthly subscription so you can, you know, make sure you love this game. So future plans, I'm hoping we'll be getting a big update soon after sets 14 and 15. I will be on top of it in terms of talking about everything that will be coming out for 14 and 15. We have the reveal videos that are going to be coming out as of tomorrow. So hopefully you soldiers will be checking that out. And if not, then, you know, hope you will be able to still support Shadowverse Evolve in the near future, because I absolutely love this game and I hope you do too. But alrighty, soldiers, that is pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about today. Outside of, you know, being base to base with you, I absolutely love all of you. I appreciate all of you for watching the video. It means a lot to me that you watched it all the way through and actually gave you something to look at this time, outside of just like a still screen. So I'm glad I was able to touch base with you all. I know it might have been a little confusing in all the things that we've said or all the things that I've talked about. So hopefully we'll be able to understand what I'm saying, because I know I might talk in like four corners and I might, you know, zigzag and stuff like that. So please make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year, especially for 2026, because I'm hoping 2026 is the year that we can all come together and have a wonderful time for Shadowverse Evolve. So be safe in whatever you do, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah. TRINN, just to get you away. What I got to do, what I got to do.